You are most welcome to Yvonne Winnie Freyoji. Today we are making a mini shirt that has a placket at the front. So this is my front fabric. I've labeled it F and it's about 12 inches in width. When folded, it is folded into two, and the chest measurement that I'm working with is 38 inches divided by 4. I get about 9.5 inches, and the rest is the sewing allowance and the ease allowance. So the length that I'm working with is about 27 inches for the front, but I added 2 inches for the sewing for the hem allowance, so I have 29 inches. And this is the back, labeled it B. So from the top, the length of the back is the 29 inches that we have at the front plus 4 more inches. So the back is longer than the front by 4 inches. So aligning everything together from the top, this is the back folded into two, and this is the front still folded into two. I have to align everything together from the top. So I think you see at the hemline there is an excess, and those are the 4 inches. Let me show you. So this is the excess of 4 inches. That excess is only at the back. So now getting to the top here, I have to slant my shoulder by 2 inches. Just here at the extreme, I go down by 2 inches and I join to the center front or center back. So to the center I join with a line just like that, and that is our new shoulder. So now I have to cut off the 2 inches, and now that is the slant that I have at the shoulder. The shoulder is already slanted, guys, it's not straight. So now I have to pull my front down so that it aligns with the back at the hemline. So now they are aligning at the hemline, and now the 4 inches are at the top, as you see there. So now for my front fabric, I'm just going to mark out the neckline. So I'm going down by 3 inches only at the front, guys. I'm just marking only the front. So it is 3 by 3, 3 inches at the width and 3 inches at the depth, and I'm just going to carve out just like that only at the front, guys. So that is what I have now. So still from there, the front shoulder, only at the shoulder, I'm just going to mark out a line that is 0.5 inches from that front shoulder, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that line. So I mark out that line. It is 0.5 inches from the front shoulder, just there, and I'm going to fold over this excess of 4 inches towards that new line that I've marked. So I'm folding it over onto that new line. I'm folding the excess, 4 inches onto that line. So now when folded, it becomes 2 inches. So that new fold is going to become our new shoulder. Now that is what we are going to use as the new shoulder, that new fold, not the joining but the fold. So I have to mark my back neckline onto that new fold. So I have to make sure the width is still 3 inches, and then I just carve out accordingly, just as you've seen me doing. So after carving it out into that new shoulder, onto that new folding, I have to measure and make sure that what I have around there is what I have as my neck measurement. And after, I also have to make sure that the length is the exact length that I need for my shirt. So before cutting, we have to only cut on the top pieces, guys, only on the top pieces. So that is, we won't cut at the back piece that is below the front piece, but we are only cutting on top. So you have to pull up that front and start cutting the front neckline. So now I have to carve my back neckline into that fold. You don't cut over the fold, but just into that new fold, that new shoulder line, just like that. So that's what we cut. And I think you are seeing that the other piece is still there at the back. So guys, now coming to the shoulder line, I have to mark my shoulder measurement. So I have 8.5 inches. The half inch is the sewing allowance, since I'll be adding sleeves, but the 8 inches is the shoulder measurement divided by 2. So from that shoulder measurement, or from that 8.5 inches, I went down by 9 inches, and that is my armhole length. So I have to carve out my armhole. So I mark the midpoint of that line, the 9 inches, which is 4.5 inches. Then from that 4.5 inches, I went in by half an inch just to carve out my perfect front armhole, just like that. Oh, the armhole of the shirt. So that is what I have. I'll just get my scissors and cut it out. So I'm just cutting it out because I considered the exact measurement of the chest measurement, so I don't need to measure the chest measurement and what. So after that, I just have to still measure out this armhole, so that whatever I get there is what I use on another fabric to cut out my sleeves. So after cutting out my sleeves, I'll also cut out a back yoke. So here I have to measure where I want my yoke to stop, then I'll go and cut it out. So these are the sleeves that I've cut out, guys. They are 2, and also this is the yoke. It is about 10 inches, seam allowance included, and it will be at the back just like that, as I'll show you when sewing. So guys, at the front I will have to slit it up by something like 7 inches, and I cut 2 pieces of the placket that are 3 inches in width and about 9 to 10 inches in length that I'll be using. I also have a facing for the front piece, and it will be at the front like this. I'll just sew it along that front. So now let me just slit up my front piece. So that entire line is 7 inches, but I'm cutting to up to like 6.5 inches, and I leave about half an inch not sewn. Don't forget to subscribe. So at the sewing machine, this is what I will do, guys. I'll start with the yoke. I'll make sure the right side of the yoke is facing the wrong side of the back piece, and then I'll join at the neckline there. Then after, I'll push my yoke to the right side of the back piece, just like this. Then I'll just fold at the hemline of the yoke, and I'll just top stitch like that. And this is what I have now after the stitching, after the joining of the yoke to the back piece. So the yoke is still being used as the facing for the back. So that is what I have. And then this is my face, my front piece after this joining. Right sides facing each other is what I did, and then I joined my facing to the front piece, and this is what I have. So now, taking my front to the wrong side, I have to join my pieces of the placket along that cut, cut line, or that new slit, or that cut region. So I'll join it by 1/2 inch, and at the top here I have to leave a few inches for the finishing of the neckline. So I'll do that for the both pieces of the placket, and then I'll come back. Make sure your plackets, the pieces of the placket are joined onto the wrong side of the front, but make sure the pieces are on the right side. I think you're getting it, just as we joined the yoke. So this is what I have here after joining the two pieces. Remember, we joined them onto the wrong side of the main piece, of the front piece, but we joined the right side of the pieces of the placket onto the wrong side, so that they will be flipped onto the right side. So this is the 1/2 inch I told you guys that I left at the cutting. Remember, my line was 7 inches and I cut up to 6.5 inches. I left 1 inch and 1/2 inch, so that I cut these two diagonal lines from the middle line onto where my stitch lines stopped. So this is what I have. There are two diagonal lines, and this is what I have. So taking my front piece onto the right sides, I have to push out or pull out my two pieces of the placket onto the right side of the front piece, just like this. Both are pushed in onto the right side. So now we are onto the right side. So this is how I'm going to make the placket. So I'm going to fold 1/4 inch of this new piece, getting one side, and then I'm going to fold it over onto this stitch, or onto this stitch line that I used to join my pieces onto the main fabric, onto the main piece. So that will be like that, and then I will finish this top piece that I left around the neck region like this. That will be done. I'll just top stitch that folding. So I'll do the same even on the other side. Fold 1/4 inch, then fold it over that stitch line that we made while joining these two pieces of the placket onto the main piece, and then I'll finish the upper neck region just like that. So this is what I have now after top stitching the two pieces of the placket. So the placket is starting to form. So that is where I finished my neck region neatly. So now you can just align the two pieces of the placket. It will just align automatically. You will see that they will be joining. So now this excess that I left for finishing up my placket, I'll have to just fold them into two, just like that, and then I'll take them to the sewing machine, and I'll just continue and top stitch along that fold that I've made. So you can just choose to make your design, maybe a square or even lines that are crossing each other diagonally. But before stitching, these two pieces are now there's that excess that I don't want, because it will cause a bulge along at the front there. So I have to cut it off. I cut off the excess, and after I just took this to the sewing machine and I finished it by top stitching. So this is what I have, guys. Hope you are getting it. Hope you are understanding everything. So now after the placket is well made, I have to join the rest of the pieces of the fabric. So I'll start by joining the shoulders. After the shoulders, I'll join my sleeves onto the shoulders. After aligning everything together, I will hem the sleeves. After hemming the sleeves, I'll join the sides. So that is what I will do. So I'll also, hem my, after joining the sides, I'll leave about 7 inches as slit, and after that's making the slit, I will hem that downer part. And guys, after everything, this is what I have as my shirt. So you have to make sure that the midpoint of the sleeve just joins the midpoint of the fold, not the joining. The midpoint of the sleeve is supposed to be at the midpoint of the fold, not the joining. So this is where I'll put my buttons, that is the placket. The other sleeve is also finished, and the hem is just there, finished already. And also my slits are finished, and that is the front, this is the back, that is the yoke. And guys, that is all about that shirt. See you soon.